Football as well. Thanks for everyone who's tuning in to Be Yourself, Do It Yourself. This is the makeup of last week's episode. I have my buddy Nyrell here. He's sitting in the green room, as we call it. Um, we uh we've been acquaintances for a long time, and I actually want to talk about how we met and all that when we get on here. But he's a real cool dude. He does a lot of different stuff. He does a podcast. He's an entrepreneur, and just a local 914 homie. So I wanted to have him on so we could chat about everything he does, and we can kind of catch up a little bit because honestly, we haven't had a long conversation in a long time. So it's gonna be cool to have him on. Thanks to anyone who's tuned in. If you are watching this in post on YouTube, feel free to subscribe. There's episodes every single Monday at 7 p.m. here live on the YouTube channel, as well as Twitch and Facebook. So yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for joining. I'm pretty new to this, so I'm just getting into the swing of things. My dog just decided to come down the stairs as I'm doing this, which is awesome. What's up, Flapjack? Anyway, let's bring Nyrell in, and then we'll chat it up a little bit. Yeah. I said yeah. I love that tagline, dude.
How you doing, my man?
What's good, homie? Thanks for being here, man. Thanks for being my pretty much my guinea pig, honestly.
I'm always support, man. I'm always down to support.
On the hopefully soon I'll have like I'm gonna try to like write some music and create like an intro and stuff. I haven't gotten around to it yet, but
and you make
hopefully I'll level up my production game as we go. Yeah, thanks for being here, man.
Of course.
Appreciate it. So let's can we start the chat with how we met? Because it's funny because I don't know. I kind of remember, but
I was about to say. All right, so we definitely went to the same middle school. Right?
Yes,
and
yeah.
Then, it was hi bye because we had the same groups of friends, and then that just matriculated as we started skating X, Y, and Z. So it's one of those like, oh, we grew up around each other, so now we know each other.
yeah, exactly. I was like, we definitely went to the same middle school. Or what year did you graduate high school? Are we a year apart? Or are we the same age? I forget.
We're the same year.
Same year. Okay, so you're a 93 baby.
Yeah, I'm a 93 baby.
Yeah, we're the same year. Yeah, so we definitely met you're right. We definitely met in middle school. I know we used to hang around with like Robin and like stuff in high school and like mess around in Central Avenue and in his neck of the woods over there.
That's a fact. And the types of things we used to get into as kids was it was ridiculous.
I don't know about you, bro, but not much has changed for me.
I was about to say, like, we are still cool just because we are still the same people. Like,
yeah, dude. It's like so funny when like I forget that I'm an adult sometimes because like I've done jobs and I have done things where like I'm supposed to be an adult, and then like people are like, I don't know, like I was a substitute teacher in the Yonkers Public Schools for 5 years, and every time someone would call me Mr. C, I'd be like, yeah, I guess that's me now.
That's me now.
Like kids would do dumb shit and then like try to like pull it over, and then like I'm there and they're just like, and they're like, think I don't know, and then I'm like, dude, I did way dumber shit.
Like, what do you? The funny thing is, because I'm a security guard now in White Plains High School.
Oh, nice.
Bro, it's hilarious. It's hilarious how much like kids think they get away with, But
I probably thought the same thing though, to be honest with you.
No,
and then you recognize that the adults just don't care.
I was about to say we were definitely better though. Like, we understood because at least the teachers and everything, they were still like on that whole, we're gonna be on top of you bullshit. Whereas teachers are so lackadaisical and laissez-faire now that like they're like, all right, I'm gonna help you out. You remember you had the teachers that really didn't pass you. Once they passed that like whole no child left behind thing, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. You didn't even make up excuses anymore. It was just like, I didn't do it. And now you're handing in your work late at the end of the year, and it's like, I'm sorry, but I did it though.
Dude, no, I totally feel it. I didn't realize that you worked up in White Plains High School. You like it up there?
It's
it's a job.
Yeah,
it's a job. I got you.
It's definitely a job.
So speaking of a job, I guess, can we chat entrepreneurship a little bit?
I'm with it.
All right. So I feel like you have done some entrepreneurial things. I know I want you to tell me what you've done, but I know you worked at the barbershop or co-owned the barbershop for a minute, right?
No, I worked at the barbershop. All right. So
okay,
how that happened was by chance, actually. I just went to school and I was like, I need a haircut, but I don't trust any of these guys out here. That's just not what I'm going to do. I'm from New York and I'm a guy. You know how serious we take our stuff.
Yeah.
So
I don't, but
long story short, I was like, all right, guys, I need something. So I went to this dude and he did my hairline. I didn't want a haircut. He just did my hairline. You can't really mess up a hairline. Yes, right. You can. Literally, he messed up my hairline and I bought clippers that same day. And no one has touched my head since. And that was in 2011.
So you cut your own hair always?
Literally.
Now, I also do that more out of the necessity of not really wanting to or really having the money to get a $25 haircut every 2 weeks.
Nah, I feel you.
So I've since college. I just bought a buzzer in college. I was like, I'm gonna mess this up a bunch, but I'm going for it.
It was something that it was no thought. It was just like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this again. So I bought clippers, and then I was, doing little haircuts there and there when I needed some money. I came home and I needed a job, so I got my security license. Got a security job, and then some BS happened. Me being our crazy selves.
Yeah.
And I lost the job. And then I was like, shit, what am I gonna do? And then I was like, I really, really, really don't want to work in office or retail or anything like that. I'm trying to do something different. Whoa. That was your alarm. I don't know why it just went off. I would have been late.
I have the same alarm. I wake up to that every morning and it's like a nightmare.
That is probably the only thing that can wake me up because everything else is just not enough. I need that.
I feel that.
Nah, but so I came down to Yonkers and Nick Vasquez actually told me that his barbershop was hiring. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'll go down there and see what's up. So I went down there and I like the atmosphere. I like not having to put on the whole that shtick you gotta put on when you walk into a professional place of work. I dug that I was able to be myself. So I was like, oh, I like this. So I worked there for almost a year, left, went to another shop, and then I was like, I don't like how they run stuff. I'm kind of controlling. So
I'm the same way. So I feel you.
And realistically, it's not that I'm controlling, period. I'm just controlling with my shit because I like certain things. I like things done certain ways. So I would rather do it myself. That's where on-call cuts came. And I was like, I want to make sure that I'm able to do this no matter what. So I brought my travel bag, brought my wireless clippers, and got to work. And from there, I'm trying to actually build out this truck. Once I build out the truck and actually have the mobile shop, then I want to actually teach people how to become their own, business owners. Because there's so many people that cut hair, but they're like, I don't want to rent a chair, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to be under somebody. And it's like, it's really not that hard to work for yourself. You just got to know how to do it. And since I found out a pretty sufficient way, and it was cost effective as well, so I was like, why not try and franchise it? So that's the
dream.
That's the
next step.
I was about to say that's the movement. That's the movement towards where I'm going.
That's dope. I mean, I don't know if you realized it, but you just hit in that little spiel the title of the podcast.
No
You were
way.
like, yo, I love working at this place because they just let me be myself. And then you're just like, and yo, you just gotta like when you want to cut your hair, you just gotta do it yourself. But that's perfect, dude. I love it.
Those,
Like
bro.
that's
The
why I
funny
wanted to
thing
have a
is,
conversation with
like,
you because I was like, I know that this dude is like he just is doing shit for himself. Like you just want to
like,
do it. You're the kind of guy that's gonna see something and be like, I don't like how that's done, but I think I can learn how to do that.
nah, that's definitely how I think, and it bites me in the ass more so than not because
Same.
I tend to like really put my perfectionist energy there. You know what I'm saying? Rather than in the normal places people want us to, focus at, like school or work or whatever. So
Yeah.
like doing these things are making me not only focus, but it's kind of weaning out and having me able to navigate how I would like to do things even in the future. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I have to learn how to do things myself, especially if I want to tell people how I want things done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was having that conversation earlier today because one, I think entrepreneurship, it's like a certain kind of person does it. I think that it's kind of like a cool thing to say you're an entrepreneur now, but like you really have to have the right like mentality. Like
Exactly.
that you have to be the guy that's like, yo, I don't like how this person cut my hair and I'm gonna go cut my own hair now. Like you have to be that person to be an entrepreneur, I think. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like
I
and you
don't
also have to
know
be
if
willing to eat a lot of shit. So
I was
like
about to say, I don't know if it's necessarily just being the type of person to like want to do it, but it's more so like having the tenacity to be like, okay, I'm gonna fail, but I'm
that's
gonna
the
get better
reality.
at this. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like it's a catch 22 for real. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, I want to try this, but I don't want to fail. And it's like
Right.
you got to be willing to eat shit, like willing, and people aren't. People
I,
want things. We are in the microwave era, so it's like things need to happen now and fast and whatever the case may be. And it's like, it's not gonna happen like that. And you have
nah,
to have that humbleness as you move about, you know.
that's not life at all. That's never like in any adventure. There's this like I've talked about it before, I think, on the podcast, but there's this like circle. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but what it really basically what it says is it's like these emotional, like you go in this circle of emotions when you come up with an idea. So it's
Hmm.
like you come up with an idea, right? And you're at the top of the circle and it's really exciting. And you're like, yo, I want to do this. This is gonna be
Facts.
sick. Right. And then you get a little bit, you start doing the idea, and then you're like, yo, shit, this is kind of hard. Right? Like every idea, you're like, oh wait, this is not the easiest thing in the world. And you at some point you get to the point where you're like, oh wait, I don't think I can do this. Like I literally don't, I'm not sure that I'm capable of this. Like this might be too hard for me. Like I feel like every person gets to the point where they get down on themselves. But if you could push through that point, you might find a spot in the other end that like is like, yo, this is hard and I thought
I
I couldn't
dead
do this,
ass.
but I actually can. And then that's how you find the success in the thing you're doing. But most people will come up with an idea, get to the point where it's like got too hard, and then the next idea gets so exciting that they just start the new idea and they never finish executing. And
I
I've
was
caught myself doing that
literally
before for sure.
the funny thing is like even being on this journey currently is just like I have those conversations daily. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
like you have to understand that this world is hard on you already. So it's
Oh
like
yeah.
you gotta lighten up on yourself at least. So that us being hard on ourselves is taught. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be school or work or whatever, it's like it's some cyclic thing that people feel like, okay, once you do this thing, then the next thing happens, and this is how it's supposed to go. And once that next thing doesn't happen how it's supposed to go, they hit that wall, and it's like, oh fuck, it was supposed to happen. I did everything right, and it's
Yep.
like that. I think that's why a lot of the people that naturally went against systems and shit like that, they're doing fine. They're struggling because life is a struggle when you don't have all the tools. But realistically, we're struggling how we want to struggle, and that's so dope because it's like entrepreneurship is something that's always been around, and it's like it's gotten I guess not hidden, but like it's been put to the back burner just because we've been in these systems being taught how to do certain things and not to follow ourselves. So once we actually step out on that limb, it's like, fuck, I don't even have enough experience to really, get through this adversity. And it's like,
I agree.
Adversity is life, but we've been like trained to feel like adversity only happens to certain types of people that do certain types of things and X, Y, and Z. So once I stepped foot into it and saw no matter what I did, some shit was gonna happen. I just had to be prepared. And it was like, oh, maybe I could help people like switch that perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like understand that you're already fucking up in other places. Why not fuck up for yourself? You know what I'm saying? So like,
dude, 100%. Like nothing's gonna come easy, so you might as well just do something you like. Because I don't know. I watched this. I watched your episode about school and of Talkie-ish. For anyone who doesn't know, I'll make a quick banner. But it's just Talkie-ish podcast. Yep. I should have made this before we started, but it looks like that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he does a great podcast called Talkie-ish, but I watched the episode in school and I totally connected with it and agreed with it completely, because it's just like we're just taught to be the middle class of America forever.
That's it.
That's what we're taught to be, and it's like I think the recognition now is that the internet changed everything, dude. Like the internet is the game changer for that, because there's no longer some middleman person that's going to stop you from doing whatever it is you want to do. I mean, never was before, but now there's really not. Like if you really think about like our parents and their parents, like if they wanted to start a business and they wanted to open up a store and sell things or something, they'd have to go get a storefront and get product and do all this thing. And now you could start a drop shipping store on Shopify. And like, like the internet just opened and then you make cool videos on the internet and you get people to look at them.
Look, it's so
like
simple.
Anyone could do this shit now.
Look, I was about to say, it's so simple. Like you hit the nail on the head. Like the internet not only changed how we make money, how we maneuver through these times, but the internet kind of affected everything from media to school to,
of course,
to business and it's so cool how we were on the precipice of it. You know what I'm saying? Like we were coding 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 20 years ago almost. Like,
no, for real though, man.
But now it's like that's what's making people millions.
Yeah, it's so
like, it blows my mind, because it's like, yo, if we really embrace the change with the internet instead of like, how we were taught how to work through, certain things, it's like it would have been ridiculous. But that's probably why it's happening the way it is now. Like people are understanding that, I can do this really fast, but now you understand why you can't just do it really fast, right?
Because there's abundance. There's also abundance. And like how many people are doing a friggin' podcast? You know what I'm saying? Like there's abundance of everything. And I think that you ultimately have to just strive for happiness and not some other thing. Like if you're doing, for me at least, like I realize that there's a lot of ways that I can make money on the internet, but I don't think I would be happy doing a lot of them. I think that I could swindle my way through getting a really good drop shipping store going where I sold some like crappy Chinese like drop ship product or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the reality is like,
you could do.
Is that going to make me happy? No, like money for me isn't really an ultimate driver. Like I don't really, it's not it's nice to have it. I've never really had it before, so I don't really know, but like, I'm sure it's nice to have it. But at the same time, like, I just like being happy. I like getting up every day and like being like, yeah, I could choose what I get to do today.
That's the ultimate.
It's the freedom, dude. The freedom is the happiness. I mean, I think if more people realize that, because I think that everyone, especially in our society, it's so money driven that people are so just driven by the money part of it that they think about what they can do to make money and not what they can do to be happy.
You got to think about it, bro. Like, even when we were talking about how, like, these specific systems kind of trained us to be certain ways, it's like, you look at, all right, what do you want to do when you grow up, right? People automatically know what they like.
Right.
But we're like trained or retrained to like consider money. When
go find the thing that makes money.
American dream, when you talk to other people about their dreams of America, what their telltale signs of, happiness, success, or whatever the case may be, it's attached to monetary things, whether it be the picket fence, the house, the this, the that. It's never anything that feeds us. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
yeah,
it goes back to what I said when it's like, we weren't taught. We weren't taught how to think about ourselves. We weren't taught how to maneuver for ourselves. So now that people are out here just on a whim trying things, they're figuring themselves out. And you get to see all of these, pitfalls and everything because of the internet. But like, this learning curve that we have right now that we're finally taking advantage of is so interesting. It's interesting.
It's super interesting. I think the biggest part of it too, or one of the biggest parts of it, is that people, I think we're all guilty of this too, is comparing yourself because you constantly see what everybody else is doing. And once I got like pretty out of that mindset, like everything gets so much easier, man. When you just start to go like, I actually, like, not for nothing, like I support tons of people. I love everything my friends are doing, but I also like their life isn't my life. Exactly. Or this random like internet star's life. That's not my life. Like, this is my life, and I got to do what I got to do for myself and not worry. Just got to be happy. Like, not worry about what they're doing. Like, because I think people get flustered by that. Like, they start a podcast because they want to be friggin' Joe Rogan. And then they realize, oh shit, it's really hard to be Joe Rogan. You know what I'm saying? And then you're comparing yourself to Joe Rogan, but then you're like, dude, I don't want to be Joe Rogan. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be me. like I don't want to be him. But that's the thing is people see like success in other people's lives. Like, you're like, oh, this guy's in this whatever. There's this barber that does these great things, and he's this amazing barber, and I look up to him. I wish my life was his life. And
Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, no, take your time.
Ooh, I couldn't reach it. I know that wasn't 2 seconds.
Nah, that's all good, bro. Take your time, dude. There's literally no stress at all.
All right, we out here.
But yeah, I guess just to wrap it up is what I'm saying is like, if you do something, do it because you want to do it and not because you're going to compare yourself to other people in the same space or in the same thing that you're doing, because like that's what one leads to not being authentic because you're trying to fit some mold or be something. And then two, it's not going to make you happier to like think about what you could be. You know what I'm saying?
The funny thing is, like, people, like I said, we're taught to do most of the things that they do. So like, when we start talking about like how and why people are driven, it's automatically ego. You can tell by what they're trying to do, how they're doing it. They don't ask any questions to the people that inspired them in the first place. Like, so many things are like being shown within this time period that it's like, all right, entrepreneurship is the thing that's trending, right? I could say that only because like
it is.
Yeah, it's obvious
because people think it's like cool. People think it's like this cool. Yeah,
it's super dope that people are trending on things that are cool, that are actually cool. Like, for you cool, by you cool, for your family cool.
Right.
But then you're like, okay, I'm doing all of this. And there's those people that are naturally able to do it, you, myself, many people. But then there's so many, just like the people that used to copy off people's tests in high school or college, just like the people. And it's like, yo, yeah, like, you're doing the same exact thing I'm doing. And that's exactly why you're not making any waves of your own, because your ego is so big to the point where it's like, all right, I'm gonna do exactly what this person is doing, but people fuck with me more, so I'm gonna be more popping. I'm gonna get more money. I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. And it's like, once you actually step into it, it's like, it's difficult, ain't it?
Yep.
People you walk by every day don't support you.
I 100% agree, man. It's lonely, I guess, is really what it comes down to. Like, entrepreneurship can be very lonely, and like it takes a specific type of person to like do it, I think, and do it right.
It takes a different type of person and a very specific type of perspective. You gotta be open, and not just open how you feel open should be. Open
to suck. You got to be ready to just suck at everything and figure it all out, pretty much.
Oh my gosh. And you can tell when people don't and aren't, because it's like, you didn't expect this to happen? Like, you don't even know. All right, cool. And it's like, even you, how you opened it up with me on this podcast that you're starting yourself, you have to be humble, understanding that I'm starting this. It may not have as much traction as it should just yet. You know,
it's gonna take time. I know. I already know that game.
But that's why you're gonna be successful. You know, because like it takes that willingness to fall on your face.
Yeah.
Because once you fall on your face, you'll understand how much it hurts. And you're like, I don't want to do that again. Instead of being afraid of falling on your face, because you think anything can make you fall on your face. And then now you stop doing things.
Yeah.
It's the action part. It's the action and the perspective that makes the entrepreneur 100%. For sure.
And then I guess going back to it, just like being happy with where you're at. Because like you said, we hopped on and I was like, yo, there probably really won't be anybody watching. This is really new and I don't know. But for me, I look at this as like, I'm just stoked to talk to like-minded people. I get to have a good conversation for 45 minutes and then like fucking get off. Like, cool. If it becomes something cool, did I waste my time? No. Like, even if it became nothing, I didn't waste anything. Like, I had cool conversations. Like, it was good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of where I've always been. Just be happy with where you're at. Be happy with where you're at and strive for more. Always strive for more, but just be like learning to just like not compare and just be like, I'm happy with this where it is, and it's fine. This is where it's at. Let me ask you, do you feel like, so going back into the school talk, and not even really the school talk, but I guess just the environment talk. You grew up in Yonkers.
Yep.
Do you feel like Yonkers at all like kind of gave you an environment for creativity, or do you feel like you just had that already? Like, do you feel like your environment or maybe the people you're hanging out with or whatever it was like kind of helped spark this, or do you feel like you had that?
That's a good question. Like, I never thought about it like that, because realistically, Yonkers is such an eclectic place. Like, people don't understand, like, having the duality of like a suburban urban area is so dope, just because like you get all walks of life in such a small radius. And it's like, I can see why I was driven to do a lot of the things I've done, just because of my environment. Because I've seen, barbers come to my house. You know what I'm saying? Like, my pops had his barbers come to the crib. I've seen, people from Yonkers actually go out and try things. So, like, I feel like Yonkers has like a very big impact on me, but I don't think I would have been able to do any of this if I wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean I think that goes without saying that it definitely always takes a person. I guess I've just been thinking about it for myself recently. Like, did the people I surround myself with, like, is that what led to a lot of the things that I do?
That's what it made me automatically go to, and it was just like, nah, because even doing what I'm doing or was doing and still want to do, like, nobody's really doing.
That's dope, man.
And it's like, to grab that inspiration from the bits and pieces that I've had around me is a blessing. But like, yeah, nah, I don't know. Cause it's like now I'm the person that's like, let me use my creativity to bring what's already going on in Yonkers together.
Right.
Cause it's like Yonkers has so much, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be, talent, focus, ambition, or whatever the case may be. Like as a city, we are very dope. You know what I'm saying? Like you could walk past somebody on the street corner and be like, yo, this guy is mad interesting. You know what I'm saying? And this isn't the city. So like you gotta give credit where credit's due. Like
No, I
Yonkers
definitely agree.
definitely shaped a lot of people into understanding that they're able to do what they need to do for themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like for me, like growing up, I feel like I don't know. I've always done the music thing, and that was kind of where I like really put a lot of my energy and skateboarding when I was younger than I do now. I still skate, but like I would put a lot of energy into
I was
the
about to say,
community.
AJ, you ain't lose that.
No, I'll always skate, but I just put a lot of energy into the skateboarding community back when I was younger, more than I do now probably. But I always put a lot of energy into music, and I surrounded myself with people that play music, but also like I was just like we did a couple months back, we did Robin, who our buddy Robin Blase is his artist name.
Yo, he said he
He
got
did.
something coming for Yonkers too.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. But we did a 24-hour live stream to help him raise money for
Right.
to do 2 like civically engaged murals in the city. So he did one about voting, and then he did one for indigenous people.
Oh, that's dope.
To like celebrate them. And so we helped him raise the money by doing a 24-hour live stream. We had bands, we had yoga, we had him painting. He painted the entire 24 hours of one big canvas of our boy Blas 89.
Where can I find it?
I think the stream is still online. It's literally a day long, the video.
I will watch
I think it's still on my YouTube channel. I'll send it to you. But yeah, so we did that, and it was dope. We raised like a couple of grand for him in that day because people just would like be like, these guys are gonna be live for a whole ass day, like 8 in the morning to 8 at night. Like we didn't stop, but it just made me go like and look and be like, look around and like look at my friends that I've now been friends with for so long and be like, yo, we're all doing like really cool, creative shit, even though it's not like all together. Like we're able to come together and like do creative things, and it's kind of a big part of what like inspired me doing this was just like, I just know awesome creative local people, and I think that they should, I just want to talk to them selfishly, I guess.
Exactly.
But this is a way to show other people what's going on too. But also I just selfishly want to have conversations because it's like, it also amps me up to be like, yeah, let's go. Cut your own hair. What?
Same way. Because no lie, that's why I started Up and Coming, because it was like,
yes,
I need to be able to, because I know I can talk, and for some reason people want to hear me run my mouth. I don't know why.
It's amazing because you're good at it. That's why.
Thank you, I appreciate it. But why not, use that to kind of showcase the people that I, enjoy and have the pleasure of knowing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this was dope. That's why I wanted to jump on, because I was like, hell yeah, I'll get on. Like, it's so dope to see, like you said, the fact that we've all grown up around each other for so long, the fact that there's nothing but love, like that's something in itself. You know what I'm saying? And then the fact that we could come together, like you said, even creating this, you you see something like a little bit more clearer than a lot of people do, and it's so dope. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I appreciate that, man. I think the same about you.
I appreciate that. Nah, because bro, like, it's difficult to not only do something for yourself, but want to do something to showcase others. Like, that speaks volumes. You know what I'm saying?
I get inspired by the things I see and talk to people about. And so like for me, like I said, it's almost selfish.
Nah,
in the sense that it's almost like I get inspired by it. Like we throw local shows. We did a show right before the pandemic. It was March 6th of last year. So it was a year ago. We did a show on South Broadway, and it was all Yonkers artists. It was 2 bands, my band and our buddies in this band Maintenance, and then 3 hip-hop artists. 4 hip-hop artists. But my band did a set with do you know Blasco, Blas 89?
Yeah.
All right, so we did a set with Blas together. Like we did our songs and his songs in one set. We were the backing band, and then we also did our songs, and he sang on them. And then our friends in this band Maintenance did a set with this dude Iman. I don't know if you know him, but he's another local rapper.
I know Iman. Yeah.
Okay, sick. So we had a couple other. We had Prada Mama, and then my brother's friend from since they're little, this kid Yemi, he just started rapping, so he opened the show, and then my boy Foreign, and we did this.
Javi.
Yeah, Javi. Yeah, he's
I
exactly.
Went to school, Javi.
he's a barber actually, which is cool. But yeah, so we did this show, and bro, there was like 250 people. It was packed. Like it was so crowded, and it was all Yonkers artists. And I was just and it was the coolest shit ever because it was like a bunch of kids that usually come out to like our shows and shit, like all the punk shows and all the bands that play, like because the bands around here are like awesome, but everyone's different. Everyone sounds different, like sonically very different. Short. But then all the kids that go out to the hip hop shows came out too, and like everyone came together, and like we started our set with a Rage Against the Machine song, and like it was just like the room exploded because it was just like this energy of like the hip hop kids and the fucking punk kids just going nuts and like
amazing.
Yonkers. It just felt, and I was just like, but where I'm going with this story is that like that kind of thing was like it's just inspiring to me to go like look at all these amazing ass people that live here.
You remember the YMCA?
Yeah.
When they used to, bro, the shows at the Y used to be so lit.
Yeah,
I think we should bring that back.
It never, to be honest with you, it never really disappeared. It's just changed forms a lot. But yeah, man, right before the pandemic, like had this big thing, and it was just cool because it was literally all Yonkers. It was all Yonkers artists in a venue in Yonkers, and like it was just so dope, and it was really inspiring to be like, yo, we could do this shit around here. Like there's people that just want to do the thing, you know, like they just yeah, and that's that's going back to what you were saying pretty much. There is people that are doing cool shit, I guess. That's kind of that's why I want to show it off. And same to you, obviously. You do that your new podcast. But so let's with that segment, let's jump into podcasting. So you got Talkie-ish, and you got, what's the name of the other one again?
Up and Coming.
That's right. I watched the one you dropped one episode, right?
I dropped 2. I actually just
2. Oh, I saw the first one. I watched the first one.
I just dropped another one Friday. The Talkie-ish thing, it started so naturally and just like Up and Coming, as I was just telling you. But Talkie-ish, talk TALKYA.
I wrote it.
ISH.
We'll pull it up right here.
Spaces in between all of those.
Talkie-ish, right? Did I spell that right, or is there a space?
Yeah, just put spaces in between. Talk-ya-ish.
Got it. I'm on it.
But it started because I had a lot of questions, and I don't care what nobody say. I talk to myself, and I talk to myself because I go through things that I feel like I should at least have some insight on. You know what I'm saying? And whether it be, retrospect or whatever the case may be, I've always had these questions, and it was like I've seen so many people go through the same issues, and it's like, what's the similarity? What's going on here? So I was like, maybe other people could benefit from what I helped myself with. You know what I'm saying? Like I did my own work. So it was like an idea around 2015, 2016, and then people always told me, you have a voice for radio, you should be on the radio. And I was just like, as soon as I thought of radio, I thought Charlemagne and all of these people, and I was just like, I don't really care to gossip, like that's not my thing. So I was like, how can I just be on something. So like I said, it was just me going through that journey of, that personal work that made me ask myself like, yo, could other people benefit from this? So I was like, yo, let's just do it. So in 2017, I started and I recorded like 6, 7 episodes. They were all hours like long, and I was just chatting. And for some reason, it just didn't feel natural. Like it didn't
Okay.
feel like what I wanted or what it should be. So I went back to the drawing board. And when I went back to the drawing board, I kind of put it off because I was being so damn hard on myself, like we talked about earlier. And I was just like, yo, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep pushing it back. I can't keep, procrastinating with myself. So I was like, all right, I started on call cuts. Let me start, this podcast. So Talkie-ish was born, and I was just like, I gotta keep this going because it's too divine. Like it's things that I'm talking about, but then as soon as I talk about them, a couple months later, somebody's having the same issue, and then they're regurgitating the same things that I'm saying, like some famous dude.
Relatable.
It's crazy, and it's like, yo, oh, so this is what's trending now. Self-help, self-work, you know, being present, just understanding what's going on around you and how you affect what's going on around you.
Right.
And it's so interesting to see that that's trending because when I was going on this journey and doing the work, it was just so much. Now, I don't want to say negativity, but it was a lot of naysayers that didn't want to look within. So when it started trending and me wanting to actually do Talkie-ish at the same time, it was like, 'cause it was like I gotta do it. So I've just been going and maneuvering, and the next thing that came natural was up and coming because I talked to all my friends. They hit me up like, "Yo, what do you think about this?" Or, "Yo, do you know somebody that can help me do this?" And I'm just like, "Yo, I have these connections, I have these networks, and I might as well figure out how to incorporate them into what I'm doing currently." So up and coming,
It's
showcasing
dope, man. I
creatives of
really
all types.
I really enjoy Talkie-ish. I do like that it's short. In the sense that I have podcasts that I listen to that some of them are like an hour, like these end up being longer. And I listen to a lot of podcasts and like that some of them end up being an hour, but I also like throwing on a thing that I could do while I'm like cooking dinner. And
See,
I
that's the
like that
thing.
like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I can listen to something cool, like kind of inspiring, and then like move past. I like the short podcast form too. It's
I
pretty cool, man.
understood like the attention span. like like our focus, especially mine. Like if I'm sitting there editing something and it has me drifting, why would I want to put that out? And that's
Right.
kind of how Talkie started. It was like so many hours of footage and conversation, and it was just like I don't like this. Like I don't even like it. So why would I? And I appreciate you even noticing that because that was something that I kind of did purposely. I didn't want
Yeah,
to,
it's
you
dope.
know, over. I didn't want to be overbearing, especially with the conversational topics. They're very at you, so I didn't want to be too much.
Well, I could tell that you don't. I could tell that you think about the things that you say, but you don't. There's no script. You're
No,
just getting on and you're just talking.
literally,
You're just saying the things that you think about to a camera, and
dead
it's
ass.
dope. It's just like, yo, that's Talkie-ish, yo. That's fucking sick, man.
I
It's
appreciate
cool.
that.
It's natural. It doesn't
Yeah,
seem like scripted. It doesn't seem fake, and which makes the topics you talk about, which are really important, and it makes them just seem more genuine, I guess, because you're not like reading off some teleprompter or something. Like you're just talking.
that was the major point I wanted to get across. Like I really wanted to. I hate the hi and welcome to my chat. I hate that. I actually did that in my last podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I
I'm terrible at that
the
shit. You saw me
the
start this thing off.
I
I
was
don't know
about
what
to
the fuck to
say
say.
like I think
I don't know.
even that is a big part in Yonkers as well because like it beat you into submission and understanding who you are, because if you didn't fit in somewhere, you had to make your own something, because it was no, you know what I'm saying? So like,
I mean, bro, going back to middle school where we met, I got made fun of left and right for the shit. I was the kid wearing the fucking skinny jeans and the Vans and now everybody and the band t-shirts, and now everybody's wearing that, which is hysterical. But I was the kid that got like fucking pushed and shoved and like called all kinds of names and shit. I'm like, because I was also small, but
exactly. And then it's just like, because even me, like, I grew up from fucking Riverdale to fucking School Street to like Central Ave, like, and being me the whole time. I didn't know how to be anyone else. And it was like, either I'm going to just keep dealing with what I'm dealing with, or I'm going to figure out how to become something different. Nah, I'm going to just deal with it and figure out how to deal and move through it. And being true to myself is, like you said, would introduce you to these friends that you have for so long. And it's just like, it's genuine, just because y'all not only linked up on some, we like doing the same thing, but like y'all linked up on some, I don't like being over there, I fuck with y'all. Like some genuine shit. So like, that's another thing I can definitely give Yonkers, because if I wasn't blessed to meet half of the people that I met, like I said, even from my father bringing certain barbers up to the house and making me see that that's even an option, like, it's super dope. It's super dope.
Yeah, man. No, I definitely agree, and that resonates a lot, because I don't know, you get it, I guess. That's all I can say.
Definitely get it.
You get it. You and I think a lot alike. I can tell. Let's like about like things, but yeah. Speaking of which,
you start this after the friends and wanting to have dope conversations. What made you actually start podcasting? Like outside of music, like how did you go that way?
So, you know, funny enough,
I'm sorry, I'm interviewing you now.
No, it's great. That's what this is, man. This is not supposed to be an interview as much as I'm just trying to have a conversation. Like I don't have like I wrote like 3 bullet points down just so I like felt like with this. I mean, it's easy enough. I could have talked with no bullet points here to you for an hour or whatever. You know, it's like, and that's how all of these episodes have been. I didn't write. This is the first time I wrote bullet points down, thinking like, oh, let me like try to be a little more prepared this time. But the reality is like, I didn't need that shit.
What is prepared?
Yeah, I didn't need that shit. But anyway, what made me get into this? So a year ago, almost to the day, I was on tour. So we through that show in Yonkers. That was the kickoff for our tour. My band Shakeout. We were doing 3 weeks to Texas and back. Oh. We were gonna do South by Southwest in Texas, which is like the festival down there. Yeah, it was gonna be. Was gonna be dope until this like whole COVID thing happened. No, but yeah, so it's crazy. Do you remember? Do you remember this week last year?
Yeah, it was terrible because
every day just got. Every day, just like you, one day, like when we left,
every day.
What the fuck? Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I was not home for it. Like, so Sunday, we left for tour on this Sunday, March, whatever, 6th, 7th, whatever it was. We left for tour thinking we're leaving for 3 weeks, dude. Bro, by Thursday, we turned around and came home. Like, that's how fast that shit went that week. If you remember, like,
because like, now that I think about it, because like I said, I worked at a school during this time. So like when I was at school, literally to this day, March 15th, they were like, yeah, this is not gonna happen. Like we're closing everything. But the week prior to,
they were like, we're gonna close for a day. Oh no, maybe we're gonna close for 3 days.
We're trying this. It's not.
And it was like a day and then 2 days, and then it was the rest of the year.
Except we're never coming out.
Like it went from like a day to 2 days till we're gonna do 2 weeks and then see what happens, and then we're gonna open up in April. We'll try, and then it just slowly morphed into like we're not opening back up. But I got to Arkansas. So I got to Arkansas.
Nah.
And we got to it. We played it, and then we made the decision that day. So we're like, all right, we're gonna play the show tonight, and then we're driving home. So we got to the border of Texas. Arkansas touches fucking Texas. Oh, I think I lost you.
Nah, give me 2 seconds.
No, you're good. I can still hear you.
Know what I just did? You can hear me?
I can hear you.
All right.
I was like, okay, that's cute.
Oh, there you are. But anyway, yeah, dude, I got to Arkansas. Anyway, to try to wrap this up, we drove home. On the drive home, it was like, all right, what's next? Because we were supposed to be on tour for 2.5 more weeks. Didn't know what this lockdown shit was, obviously, at that point. Like, had no clue what was happening. And just ended up being like, yo, we always wanted to do live streams. So the band got into doing live streams. And then through that, I got into TikTok, like I was telling you before we hopped on. And I started getting pretty heavy into it, like making me playing guitar, just like talking music, just doing shit. And I gained a pretty big following on there. And I realized, like, hey, I'm pretty good at this. Like, I think I could do like this content creation thing, which is not something I ever did. Really, like I've always made music. I always made music videos. I've always made content for the internet, but I would never consider myself like a content creator. I considered myself a musician that used the internet for that. And in this past year, man, I've really flipped the switch on like what's capable, what I can do on the internet and my capabilities with this stuff. And I've just tried to jump into a bunch of different things. So we do a live stream. My band streams to Twitch 4 times a week. And we've been a pretty good community there. And then, I've always done the 914 collective. What's up? Oh, we do it out of my garage.
How does that work?
Yeah, we do a full live stream. I'll send you one of them. We do a full live stream production out of my garage that we've built over the past year. We just keep making it better and better. But fully mic'd up, like full thing right out of my garage. There's only 2 of us in my band. Me, do you know the other AJ? I don't know if you know him. We went to high school together, so you might not know him.
I do know the other AJ. Yeah.
Yeah, he's my drummer. It's me and
the same haircut, and I was like,
yeah, it's just me and him. So we just jam in my garage, and we live stream 4 times a week, and we've built a pretty good following on all the platforms now, on Instagram, on Twitch, on YouTube. Like we've been doing pretty good, and then so I'm like, yo, I'm pretty good at this stuff, and I like doing it. And the 914 Collective was always just what I booked shows through. I always did shows, but I can't do shows anymore. So that's where this kind of podcast kind of came up, because I was just like, let me try something else for that too, like let me do something else. I was screen printing t-shirts in the beginning of the pandemic for hours a day, like these. I was just making t-shirts, and I was just finding things to do, because I'm not the kind of guy that slows down. It wasn't like, oh, pandemic, I'm watching Netflix all day. It's like, pandemic, what's next? Exactly. I'm like, what's next? Oh, I'm screen printing t-shirts.
Pandemic, now what?
Yeah, dude, I've sold these Yonkers t-shirts, which, by the way, if anyone wants, check out. They're at 914.com. But I was selling these Yonkers t-shirts.
In the link below.
I sold hundreds of them in the beginning of the pandemic, and it gave me a full-time job for like 5 weeks.
No way.
I went from unemployed to doing that. I lost my job, and then I started flipping these things on the internet, and then I started getting into the content creation, and I just realized how I like this stuff, and it's fun. And so that's where I kind of got into doing this podcast, because I was just like, I want to do something where I showcase, like I said, I want to showcase people that I think are doing cool things, and I like making videos, and I like having conversations. So why not give this a shot? It's still in the very, very beginning stages. This specifically is in very, like, I go pretty hard with Shakeout. I go pretty hard with Shakeout, and then now I'm adding this to my schedule of things to do. Essentially,
I know you're about to go hard with this too.
Yeah, it's just the next thing to go hard with. But yeah, that's the real quick turnaround. All right, let me ask you one more thing. Well, not really ask you. I guess more talk to you about the episode. I think it might have been your last episode of Talkie-ish. Code switching.
Code switching, yeah.
Yeah. All right. First of all, I think it might be a good place to wrap this up anyway, because I think it like completely is what this podcast is about, which is just being yourself and like not switching around who you are all the time to fit something. And like, I don't know, I watched that and I was just like, yeah, like I really fuck with this episode. I never heard about it as code switching. Like, did you make that up?
No, the funny thing is, like, we have so many sayings that, people use for their own, prerogative, but like realistically, code switching has been within our communities for a minute. Like, and it started with what we had to do, and then it got shortened to the switch. And like when I would mention it through certain things, I was like, yo, I gotta really like hit the head on that one. Like I gotta really talk about it because I don't even think people understand that they one have a switch that they do, whether it be an alternate personality or even just ways that they act in certain places. But like it's so interesting to me like that even you are specifying being yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like that shouldn't be taught or have to be said in order for people to do it. You know what I'm saying? So like when I thought about the episode, it was because it was just a very big topic within the pandemic. Like whether, we were talking about, the coon or or whatever the case may be. And then I just saw a lot of infighting within our communities. And then not only did the infighting, happen within our communities, which I don't like, one, and two, I feel like it's very simple fixes and conversations. And three, I was kind of like disheartened because there's so many people that don't understand or aren't aware of themselves enough to understand that they're not being themselves. And you're expecting other people to be that when the whole world does that for us already. So it's like, nah, we got to call some people on this shit. How can I do this? And then people were talking about it. And I was like, I got to do an episode on that. And it was probably one of the first episodes that didn't really like just come to me in the shower while I was like on the shitter or something. Like it genuinely was something that was a trending topic, and I was like, yeah, I want to touch on that because I don't feel like people know how to be genuine. In order to be genuine, you gotta like, I don't know. You got to move about this world with a sense of purpose, but also with some real people around you, and we've been in this whole generation of I don't need nobody because we ain't really had nobody. That it's like we keep bouncing in between trying to see where we fit instead of just fitting where we are. And it's like, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. So I was like, let me see how and what other people think, and do they agree?
I completely agree. Actually, we got Hector says it takes a lot of integrity to be genuine. I agree,
guy!
Hector. Thank you for tuning in. But yeah, no, dude, I totally agree. I had this really, I don't know, I had a really hard time with a lot of the stuff that, I mean, we all had a hard time with a lot of the things that happened in the world this year. Everyone, and a lot of people had a really, I consider myself wildly fortunate for this past year, however, I don't know, I had a hard time with social media for like 2 months in the summer, especially where I took it off my phone and I still was on there every day. Like you saw me because I was always posting my shit, but I wasn't watching anymore because it got to a point where it consumed my, like I was realizing like how anxious it was making me all the time. And I think a big part of it was I was watching people not actually be themselves. And it's also another like leader to this. I was watching people like say shit and do shit to like appease some side of something or appease some person that they wanted or appease some group instead of like just being genuine about what they had to say. And like there was a lot of shit that it was just like, it seemed like a fucking performance. Like I was like, there's like people just like on the internet are like pretending to be some shit that they're not. And I was just like, it's whack, man. Like I don't know how to, like, I don't ever want to fall into that. And it's people like I really cared about, which was like a thing. Like it's people like I like them. I know I see them and I like them and they're like for friends. And then you see on the internet, they're saying some dumb shit or not even dumb. Like some of it's dumb. Some of it's like actually not dumb, but you could tell it wasn't genuine and they're just like, they were just treating the internet like it was this, like, I don't know. I guess there's this like thing that was going around whereas like everyone had to step up on their platforms and speak when I felt more like, I think there's a lot of times to just listen. Like there's a lot of times where like, you don't need to say something here. Like, you really don't need to say anything. You could just like listen.
Don't need to say anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what do you have to contribute to this that isn't just regurgitating or putting your 2 cents in on something that it doesn't need to be in on? And it really like made me more focused, to be honest with you, like as a person for myself, because I was like, I want to focus on me being the best version of me always. And I can always look back at myself and be like, I fucked up there. I did the wrong thing there. I said something stupid then. And I can always look back at myself and go, that was stupid. I regret doing this. But we can all do that. But it's for people to like, it felt like in a lot of ways, people were stepping on like soapboxes and like telling you some shit. And it was just like, really, man? Like that's what we're gonna do right now.
It's so crazy because it's like people don't realize like I grew up with you.
I grew up. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I know you. You wouldn't talk. You're just doing like it's like you're doing this because it's like it makes you feel important. Like I don't know what this does for anyone, but I don't know, man. It was just really I had a difficult time with it, to be honest with you. Watching people like and then not follow through on shit. Like as soon as it was stopped being a hot topic, things were being a hot topic to talk about. They weren't talking about it anymore. It was to talk about it in the moment. Or like it was to like trample on things that were actually happening in the world for them to stick their 2 cents in and like use their ego to boost themselves up. And like, man, I just like, I also, to be quite honest with you, I got kind of attacked at one point, but like that's another story. But
what did you say?
I'll tell you when we get off. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. It was a really weird time, and I just felt as if I had to. I felt as if I had to almost like log off, and there's like it was a time to focus on listening. I felt like and like learning and like being the best version of yourself. So you can provide the best version of whatever you are and what you can contribute.
Like, exactly, because like people don't understand. Like you weren't taught certain things, so it's fine. Like it's fine. But when you tend to overreach or overstep, and it's like you didn't have to do that. Now you look crazy, and it's like. You had people defending themselves over things they weren't informed about. Things a couple days ago were never even on your mind. So like I can understand it. Like I said, growing up all over the place, like, yo, you are a product of your environment, right? But a lot of people don't want to own that because they never liked their environment. So they put that switch on to kind of separate themselves, and it doesn't really separate you because when situations like this happen or a pandemic or things you can't really guesstimate or prepare for, you end up showing your ass every time, and it's sad, but it's like if this didn't happen, we'd probably still be dealing with the people the same way. At this point I was just like, duly noted.
Yeah, man. It was one of those things. I don't know. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt that I think a lot of people were confused and didn't know what to do. I guess because I always like to see the best.
It's like
in people,
my parents do this, so I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, it's whatever. I don't know. It got for me. I just was like, I can't even imagine how it was for other people, but like that were super affected by everything. Like for me, I was just like, I'm just sick of people like. Put on some performance act. Like I don't need to be on this. Like I don't need to see this. Like it just didn't do anything for my day to day. So I took it off my phone because I was like, this doesn't actually add any value to my life anymore. But I think, I don't know. I hope that kind of thing, I hope that these kind of conversations and this kind of thing like stops, like slows that kind of stuff down a little bit, because it's the reality is like, just be yourself, dude. Like if you did something wrong ever, own up to it. If you're, if you didn't understand something or didn't know something, that's like, just be yourself. Why are you trying to like pretend you're something you're not? I guess.
Because that's the norm. Like I said, we was taught all of this shit. We was taught how to act like. We was taught how to keep diminishing ourselves and shit. We was even taught to ride waves, right? So it's like you saw, especially the schools we went to. Like we saw the wave riders. We saw the people that were just saying shit to say it. You know what I'm saying? These people have always been these people, but now they had a different topic. You know, and
You're
like I
right.
said, with that whole positive things being trending, it's just now we're in a space where everything's on the table. Everything's
Yep.
on the table, and it's like, now what do we do? Because now we understand what the fuck is going on. Is we gonna do something about it though? And then, like you said, it goes hand in hand with those people that just was on the soapbox. Like I was, even with code switching and the George Floyd situation. Like I barely touched on that, but I wanted to talk about the actualities of it. You know what I'm saying? Like what's going on? Like who, why,
Yes.
and where?
Yeah.
Like why is this going on right now? That was
I completely agree. Like, I think it's so crazy it's like, for all the crazy things happening in the world, it's so crazy to me that people argue on Facebook about trivial shit when we're like, yo, do you not recognize that, like, we're all same team? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're middle class America, we're all same team, dude. Like, at the end of the day, like, we're all the same team. So why are you fighting about this and that and the other thing? Like, that's what it's meant. For me, like, especially with a lot of your episodes that I've watched, like, I recognize that you're like, it's set up to be like this, it's set up to like, it's set up for the world to like, we're supposed to argue with each other, because if we're arguing with each other, we're not working together. And then the powers that be, or whatever it may be, have a lot of the upper hand on everything going on.
You think about it. If we're arguing, how could we have a conversation?
I don't like. It makes no sense to me, dude. Like, it's like supposed to be. It's supposed, like, it's intentional where people are like, "You're here and I'm here," and it's like, nah, bro. We're actually here, and there's just some motherfuckers up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're here, and there's just people up there.
I think the sooner people. Shit! I almost knocked my iPad down.
You're good.
I think the sooner people understand that, like, yo, this whole I'm upset about this, or I'm acting like I'm upset about this, it's fine. Like, whatever's your driving factor, but like realistically, what's the end game? Like, that's my thing. Like, I sit here, we could argue about who's racist, we could argue about who don't like who, we could argue about all this shit, right? But realistically, what is being done?
What does that change? What does that do? Like, yeah, I get you, man.
Nothing's being done. We've been arguing for eons.
Yep.
Arguing for eons, fighting, killing people even. But what is being done? Like, nothing's being done.
Nothing's being. Yeah, it's the same shit, man.
Focusing on like the deeper conversations. It was like, okay, why do you feel like you need to go this hard for said thing? You know what I'm saying? And it was like, oh shit, this was meant to happen. And then I kind of like, I went through the holiday episode. I went through, I forgot what was right after that. And then all of a sudden, like, they started all making sense. And then finally, the surmise of them all was the byproduct. And once I watched all of those back, because, like, when I tell you, like, these are literally cathartic for me. Like, I have these conversations with myself, and I'm just like, whew, all right, that makes sense. All right,
Yeah.
Cool, whatever. Like, so once I record it and it's uploaded and I edit it, I just go. And it's a thought, and it's out there, and it's
right.
like, I'm on to the next thought. And it's like, once I saw that everything was cyclic, I was just like, sums up.
Yeah, man.
Sums up. And we got to figure out what's up. So I hit the media. I hit, just many things. Like, even COVID. Like, I hit COVID, like, instead of, the trivial, like, why we're, protesting. We know why the fuck we're protesting.
We've been doing it. It's been happening for how long? The same shit.
It's been happening.
Yeah.
My thing is, I'm now of age to actually do something. So it's like, all right, cool. This is a time where I can actually, speak on something when it's relevant, but I don't want to just talk about what we keep talking about. Like, I want to talk about some solutions. I want to talk about where I can help. Like, and I feel like even with the code switching, excuse me, a lot of people have lost their way. Like they figured out what they like doing and they figured out what they need to do. And a lot of the times what we need to do always trumps just because life is moving. And a lot of the things that we need to do are attached to things that we've attached to ourselves. So it's like, what do you really care about? What made you be this person? And it's like, if you're just following the person that you claim you didn't want to be like, I think you should rethink something. Because 9 times out of 10, you're acting, doing, regurgitating all of the shit you learned. But you got to actually ask yourself, am I being myself? How do I feel about it? Mm-hmm. And am I being outward with those feelings? And being yourself is something that, like Hector said, it takes a lot of integrity. And to be integral in this day and age, it takes accountability. It takes self-awareness. And these are things we were just not prepared with. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's and like, I think, are we gonna?
Not to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, go.
No, you go. I'm sorry.
So, not to like.
I think I lost your train of thought. You were gonna say, "Are we gonna?"
No, but not to be that guy, but like, are we gonna get off the pot for shit? Because like,
yeah,
we keep dealing with the same things, and it's like, how many grandmothers got to do the same thing? How many mothers? How many fathers, sons, daughters got to deal with the same shit before we're actually like, okay, I'm tired of this. Something's got to give. I want to fuck with who I've been fucking with. It's always been happening, whether it be interracial relationships, whether it be transgenders, like whatever's going on, people have been them. They've always been them. We just keep acting like we care because that's the popular thing now. For the past century, we've been worrying about everybody else's problems but our own. We've been taught to worry about everybody's problems but our own. Shit, look at our country. It's the best depiction of us minding everyone's business but our own. So when I say we're taught, bro, it's deeper than just what your mom tells you or what's on TV or what you think you're influenced by on these damn social medias. This shit is so deep ingrained.
Oh, bro,
it's nuts.
So deep, man. Like, it's everything.
Nuts.
It's super nuts. And I think going back to what you're saying about the self-awareness, because it's nuts how this is ingrained. And I think that self-awareness factor is something that like is the way to break it, man. Like, just like really looking at yourself in the mirror and going, yo, who am I? What do I do in my life to contribute to the people around me, to the community around me, to everything? What can I do to make this place a little bit closer to where I want to see it go? You know, like if everyone got on that like train of thought of like,
about it. We are on that train of thought, but we're trained to think that that place is somewhere else because we're running from the things that we've been neglecting to deal with. So whether it's your homies killing your homies, whether it's your family members having sex with people that they shouldn't be having sex with, we've been dealing with so many things within our home circles that our solace is always going to be outside.
Yeah.
They've never taught us how to deal with our shit.
You're right.
So, like, why would that shit be anywhere near our happiness?
Nah, dude, you're right.
That's like the integral part of you being self-aware and being yourself. You have to deal with your shit. Until you deal with your shit, then you'll be able to help people do better with theirs. But you got so many people dodging, ducking, and doing all of this, and under the guise of, I can help you. How?
Yep.
That's why we are where we are right now. From the smartest to the boldest of bold, until that person knows themselves, they still gonna move in some wacky ways and not do what's needed to be done.
No, you're 100% right, man. It's just, yeah, you're right. It's that exactly. It's just know yourself, deal with your own shit. Don't worry about other people's shit as much until you deal with your own shit, because you can't help anyone unless you can help yourself. At the end of the day, I guess is like, what are you gonna provide for people if you don't even know who you are? You like, and then just be in you. Just be you. That's the title of the damn podcast.
We can provide another dream, right?
Yeah, like it's yeah. This is why I had you on, man, because it's that. Like, you just be yourself and like learn through being yourself, and whatever, man. Like, you're gonna figure your shit out, and hopefully you can make the world like I said, make the world slightly better than how you left it. Because like you said, shit is not getting done.
Look, and the funny
so
thing
get
is,
shit done, right? Like if we can all kind of chip away at getting shit done.
It's just so simple. It's so simple that
it is. It is.
We've been trained to make it difficult. Like, it's so simple. It's so simple. But I don't want to be that guy to be like, be yourself, be genuine, have integrity, be self-accountable.
Yes.
But realistically, the only ways you are able to do that, I didn't want to just leave that as a soundbite, because that's obvious. You've been reading these books, you've been following these people, you've been buying these stones, you've been burning these leaves, you've been doing all of this shit.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, why? Talk to yourself. Ask yourself the questions you scared or want to fight other people for. Because realistically, until you can ask yourself those questions and actually get through it, you can't get through it with anyone else. So you can go through a therapist, you can keep telling half-truths, you can keep doing whatever the case may be. But you will not help yourself unless you ask yourself how to do that.
No, you're dude, 100%, man. I could not agree with you more. I appreciate you giving me your time. I appreciate this conversation.
Always.
I really enjoyed it, man.
I was about to say, this was a dope ass combo.
I really enjoyed it. I appreciate it. Is there anything you wanted to hit on we didn't hit on?
No, not really. I'll sit here and talk all day.
Yeah, I'm the same way, bro. I'm the same way. You wanna plug anything? Go plug what you got, bro, and I'll pull it up for you here.
Tune in. MFing Films is literally spelled just like that. MFing Films is where all my content is. You can find Talk Your Ish. You can find Up and Coming. And I got some DIY videos. I got some shit in the cuff, man. It's gonna be dope. And what else is coming? There's a lot of things coming. Just stay tuned.
Bro, I love that. Please follow this dude anywhere. Thank you for anyone who's watching live. Really appreciate you. If you're watching
definitely
not live and post and whatever you're listening or watching it on the YouTube thing, where hit the subscribe button, bro. I'm not good at that. But also, if anyone is interested, local 914 merch, 914.com, the 914.com. It's right here. Appreciate you guys watching. I'll be back next Monday at 7. I have no idea who's my guest yet, because I'm not good at planning this yet. I'm just adding this to the schedule, so I don't know who the guest is, but it'll be someone cool, someone local. So thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate you. Thank you again, bro, for being on. You're the man.
Always, bro.